Hear from Mr. Denny, the Chief Executive Officer and General Manager from Golden West Telecommunications from Wall, South Dakota. The floor is yours for 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Lujan, Ranking Member Thune, members of the subcommittee. Thank you for this opportunity to participate in today's hearing on network resiliency. For over a century, Golden West has provided communication services to rural South Dakota. Today, we have more than 30,000 accounts located across a geographic area the size of Maryland, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Delaware combined. That's fewer than 2 customers per square mile. In addition to robust service for consumers and businesses within our territory, we serve several tribal reservations, numerous anchor institutions, including schools and hospitals, VA facilities, and 5 public safety answering points. Golden West is a member of NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association, which represents approximately 850 rural community-based carriers like Golden West that offer advanced communication services throughout the most sparsely populated areas of the nation. We operate in deeply rural markets where the cost of deploying and operating networks is high, and a tailored approach to managing risk and resiliency is necessary to create sustainable networks. The first step to achieving resilient and reliable communication services begins with the network infrastructure. Golden West technology infrastructure is designed with resiliency in mind, including the construction of hardened buildings to withstand extreme weather conditions, large banks of redundant batteries in every network office that are also backed up by standby generators. Golden West has also invested in physically diverse fiber routes connecting to each of our network offices, coupled with redundant electronics with multiple connections to prevent large numbers of customers from being isolated from Golden West's local networks. We've also established connections to statewide fiber networks that provide middle-mile transport and added redundant connections to separate internet points of presence where possible. To mitigate the costs of purchasing this capacity from larger regional or national carriers, SDN Communications, an entity owned by Golden West and a number of other small community-based providers in South Dakota, enables connectivity between rural South Dakota and the rest of the world. SDN was created 30 years ago to connect rural markets to better long-distance telephone service, and today it's because of SDN's 50,000-mile fiber network that Golden West customers do not get isolated from the world in the event of a fiber cut or a single network disruption. Deployment of cheaper technologies than fiber often sounds attractive in rural markets, but it comes at a different kind of cost. Technology that causes connectivity to be spotty when it rains or snows, suffers from degradation or complete shutdown in extreme temperatures, encounters line-of-sight issues with seasonal foliage growth, or have network components exposed to the elements may be less expensive to install initially. But those technologies often come with a higher operating cost over time and lack the kind of reliability for essential functions, which could leave consumers without the ability to dial 911 during a hurricane because the underlying network does not perform reliably in the rain. Another leading threat to network resiliency involves security. Each day, our networks can face the same security threats and denial of service attacks as the larger national broadband providers. To help mitigate those risks, Golden West again partnered with SDN to collectively deploy distributed denial of service protection across our networks. Knowing where to monitor or take steps to manage risk on a network can be the hardest part for many smaller providers. To support those efforts, NTCA created CyberShare, which among other things is an information sharing center that provides access to daily threat indicators and a weekly technical analysis for small broadband providers like Golden West. Finally, while high cost is the most imposing obstacle to deploying and maintaining reliable broadband in rural areas, other barriers can affect the ability to achieve resiliency, redundancy, and security objectives, including permitting delays or other access issues like crossing railroads, supply chain shortages for critical communications equipment such as fiber or customer premise equipment, and shortages of skilled telecommunications workers that help all providers deploy or repair networks. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Thune, thank you for this opportunity to testify today, and I look forward to your questions later.